In the quiet hours of a moonlit night, an elderly man sat by the fireplace, the flickering flames casting shadows across his weathered face. His eyes, once bright with youthful wonder, now held the weight of 100 years' worth of memories. It was April 14th, 1912, he began, his voice a whisper that carried the weight of a tragic tale. I was just a young lad, full of dreams and boundless optimism. The Titanic, they called her. Unsinkable, they boasted. He paused, as if transported back to that fateful night.
The RMS Titanic was a British passenger liner operated by the White Star Line and built by the Harland and Wolff shipyard in Belfast, Northern Ireland. It was one of 3 Olympic-class ocean liners alongside the RMS Olympic and HMHS Britannic, intended to be the largest and most luxurious ships of their time. Construction of the Titanic began in 1909, and she was launched on May 31, 1911. The ship was approximately 882 feet long and 92 feet wide, making it the largest and most advanced ship afloat at the time of its completion. Titanic was equipped with numerous amenities that catered to the wealthy passengers of the era, including a swimming pool, gymnasium, libraries, and opulent first-class accommodations. The Titanic embarked on its maiden voyage from Southampton, England, on April 10, 1912, bound for New York City. It made stops in Cherbourg, France, and Queenstown, now Cobh, Ireland, to pick up additional passengers. Among its 2,224 passengers and crew were some of the wealthiest people in the world, as well as hundreds of emigrants seeking a new life in America. On the night of April 14, 1912, at around 11:40 p.m., the Titanic struck an iceberg in the North Atlantic Ocean about 400 miles south of Newfoundland. The iceberg caused a series of holes along the ship's starboard side, leading to flooding in several compartments. Despite efforts to deploy watertight doors and use pumps to contain the flooding, the ship's fate was sealed. The Titanic carried lifeboats for only about half of its total capacity, a decision based on outdated maritime regulations. As a result, there were not enough lifeboats to accommodate all passengers and crew on board. Panic ensued as the crew attempted to evacuate passengers into the available lifeboats, prioritizing women and children first. At 2:20 a.m. on April 15, 1912, the Titanic sank into the icy waters of the Atlantic Ocean. Over 1,500 people perished in the disaster, primarily due to hypothermia from the freezing water rather than drowning. The survivors, rescued by the RMS Carpathia, were taken to New York City, where they recounted the harrowing events of that fateful night. The sinking of the Titanic shocked the world and prompted immediate changes in maritime regulations. The disaster highlighted the inadequacy of existing safety measures and led to reforms, including stricter requirements for lifeboats, improved communication systems, and better iceberg patrols. The International Ice Patrol was established in response to the Titanic disaster to monitor icebergs in the North Atlantic shipping lanes. The story of the Titanic has since become a symbol of human hubris and the unpredictable forces of nature. Numerous books, films, and documentaries have been produced about the Titanic, focusing on its luxurious amenities, the heroism and tragedy of its passengers and crew, and the lessons learned from the disaster. The wreck of the Titanic was discovered in 1985 by a team led by Robert Ballard, sparking renewed interest in its history and preservation as an underwater archaeological site.